Now we're going to let it go, press it one more time. Wow. Oh my god. Oh wow. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, okay. Alright guys, welcome to the cockpit of the 190. Words don't really express how excited I am to finally be sitting in this thing. I bought it right when the devs notified us on Discord that this thing was available in the marketplace. So here we are. I've already done one test flight in it just to get familiar with a little bit more modernization compared to the 109. There's a few more switches than there are cables and pulleys, but all in all, this thing is an amazing aircraft. Tablet here is down on the right side. I haven't found the shortcut for it yet. It's typically a bolt that's going to be on the dash up here, but haven't seen it yet. Let's go ahead and head through our before engine start. So, forward breakers, going to turn all of those on. And there's our generator, and the battery is this last one right there. Samra, that's what it's called. And the rear breakers all on except the IFF here in the back, the FW-190 Sprengung. That is the self-destruct for the IFF. We definitely don't want to be pressing that. There's our gear, compass, generator, motor, artificial horizon, trim, prop pitch control, the motor, flaps, gear motor, and radio. It says radio here on the instrument tool tip here, but on the left it says FT-Anlage, and as I remember, the in the 109, the FT-Anlage had everything to do with the inertia starter switch, but that is actually here on the starter pulley. Well, not exactly sure how to describe this thing, but in order to initiate the flywheel, you press that down, and then to start the engine you pull it up. And I'll run that. It's a little tricky at the beginning. I'll run through the process in just a little bit as we get this thing primed and ready to go. So here is our external power. That's optional. I'm not sure if anything shows externally. Ah, yeah, there it is. Is that a W or an M? Werft? I'm not exactly sure. That's super authentic. Very cool. Ground equipment is also available, obviously. If you just click that switch there and you're in the workshop. This thing looks so cool, man. Still pretty speechless. Oh, tablet's gone. Turn that off, and we'll leave the external power on, and we'll turn our fuel pumps for the forward tank, the rear tank, and the external tank on. We left the auxiliary tank empty, therefore I'm not going to be turning that pump on. Back into the checklist, we'll head over to engine start. Armor breakers all on, external power on, oxygen valve on. That is right over here, actually. Open. I'm not going to be flying to 20,000 feet, so I'm not exactly sure why I would need that right now. Engine start. Check rear and fuel. Rear and forward fuel. That is going to be here. Rear is working. Forward fuel tank is working, and we'll set that to automatic. And prime until slow. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There it goes. Now it's starting to slow down. Magnetos both on. That's going to be down here on the left side. Right up here. Yep, we've already got that set to both. Throttle up to about 20%, or under the label that says Anlassen, which is ignition. And prop control set to manual. That is right here. And to switch that to manual, you hit that switch right there. And if you have it binded to your stick, turn the RPM down, we'll set it to kleiner, and cruise is the opposite direction. We'll leave it right in the middle for now. I'm not exactly sure where 12 o'clock is on the prop indicator, but we'll see once we get the thing started. Set pitch to 12, prop control back to automatic. Yeah, Not exactly sure why we set it to manual. Haven't even got it started yet, and we can't see yet where it's going to be, but that's okay. Canopy close. Oh, I wanted to hear the thing start. That's alright. And inertia starter. Okay, so we are ready to turn this thing over. Pull strongly. Alright, so first, you'll hit that guard, open it, and press the inertia starter first. Hold it down for about 20 seconds or until we get to about 17,500 RPM on the flywheel. You can hear it spooling up in there already. I think external power is going to disappear once we get the engine started automatically. 16,000, 17,000, it's already saying we're ready. Engine prime, throttle set to 20%. Both fuel pumps are on, fuel tanks are being used on automatic. And now we're going to let it go. Press it one more time. Wow. Oh my god. Oh wow. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, okay. Yep. Let's close our breaker panels. Oh my goodness, this thing sounds amazing. Right, after engine start, oil pressure, check for a rise. That's going to be on our left side of the gauge here. And fuel pressure is on the right side. Obviously, we're not going to be beginning our taxi roll too early. We're going to go ahead and let that warm up, setting it to 1,200 RPM. And once we get to 25 Celsius, we bring it up to 1,400. So once we get to 25 Celsius, obviously we're already at around 70. Radiator control open clockwise, it's going to be this little dial right here. 5 settings. And I believe that's going to be visible. I'm going to open the canopy. Oh, that thing sounds amazing. These little flaps right here are going to open up when you open that radiator control valve. Alright, let's go ahead and close it back up. It was quite noisy. Pre-flight, artificial horizon, uncage. There we go. I've got it uncaged. Taxi. So to lock the tail wheel, it's going to be like the Mustang where you pull the stick aft. We'll do a brake test and a run-up check. Stick aft flaps set to start, pitch trim set to 0. Okay, don't even need to do a mag check. Take off. We'll take a look at that right before we get to position and hold. Set this to terrain, and we are ready to taxi. Alright, let's remove the parking brake and inch that throttle forward. Give it some right rudder and a little bit of right brake. See how similarly it behaves to the 109 on the ground. I'm sure it's going to be very similar, except the 109 had a very narrow main gear track, so it liked to ground loop quite quickly, and this one has a wider track, so it's going to be just a little more stable, but still got to be careful with it. We're going to be heading to the other side of the runway here, since we've got a little bit of wind out of the northwest, but it's quite negligible. However, taking off upwind is recommended course of action with a tail dragger from World War II, and it's twitchy. It's definitely twitchier the quicker you get, so be a little cautious when taxiing. Alright, let's get ourselves situated on the center line and then get our takeoff checklist out. Now the 109 liked to die when you brought the throttle all the way back to idle, and I'm afraid this BMW is going to do the same thing, but I'll just keep the throttle just a few millimeters forward. Alright, so let's bring that takeoff checklist out. Landing gear guard up. That's going to be right here. And we'll landing gear guard up, throttle set to 2,000 RPM. Engine parameters within safety limits. Let's check that out. Let's pull the stick back. Fuel pressure, oil pressure looking good. Temperature is within a good range. I like what I see. throttle set to 2700 RPM. We're going to be lifting the tail at 150 to 180 and rotating at 200 kilometers an hour, and raise the gear at 250 and our flaps as well. That's going to be our takeoff setting. Wow, that's quite a huge deflection. Let's see. That's it. Yep. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Ah, okay. That's going to be our takeoff setting. Alright, 2700 RPM, we are ready to go. Rotate at 170. And hopefully be off the ground at 200 kilometers an hour. There comes the power. 2700 RPM. Little right aileron. And this thing is already in the air. Wow, it's a monster. Bring our atmospheres back to 1.3. That gear motor was whining. Okay, flaps coming up as well. There's 300 kilometers an hour. And let's get ourselves about 1,000 feet above the field for our pattern altitude. Wow, yeah, this thing is hauling. It's awesome. Read in the manual it's capable of 400 miles per hour. It's a monster. So at 1.3 atmospheres, we're already at 400 kilometers an hour. Oh yeah, still increasing. It's really nice to have a climb indicator. The one when I didn't have one, so I was just relying on altimeter on the left side, but now that I've got that, that's really nice. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves lined up for a low pass. Oh, this thing definitely feels authentic. You can hear the airframe creaking. 1.4 atmospheres, 2700 RPM. Wow, this thing is a monster. I already said that. Oh, that, I have to admit, didn't sound very good. And right off the bat, they did say in the POH that this thing is not a Zero or a Hellcat, so you have to be a little careful with it. It's an aircraft that requires a little bit of finesse. I mean, it is a boom and zoomer after all, right? Yeah, I'm a little speechless right now. So we don't have a plug fouling issue here, so therefore we don't have a clear plug fouling switch like the 109 did, but that's okay. You can definitely tell that it's definitely more modernized. It's not too much that the pilot has to do, thanks to that in German it's called the Kommandogerät, command device. I'm not exactly sure if that's how it would translate, but we can call it a engine control management system, so we don't have to deal with mixtures and the prop pitch control either. It's all automatic, which is super nice. I mean, they already had a lot to deal with in this time. Alright, let's go ahead and get our checklists back out for our landing checklist. What do we need? Lining up with the runway, we've already got that. 250 knots, kilometers. We'll lower the gear. Let's bring the throttle back. We're at 300 kilometers. And we'll set our flaps to landing below 250. I probably could already extend the flaps. Max flaps extended 250. Okay, we definitely need to slow down. I hear a little pop and crackle. Oh man. Yep. There's one notch of flaps, both flap settings, and here comes the gear. Oh man. Let's see if I can click that home button. There we go. And oh goodness. I didn't die. but I think we're gonna have to do that again. Alright guys, here we go with attempt number 2. Obviously we're not gonna be distracted by our landing checklist right as we get over the threshold of the runway. Let's go ahead and pull our throttle back and get us down to 250 knots. This airframe is pretty aerodynamic, so getting it down to 250 isn't too easy. So give yourself a little bit of space on final. Okay, a little shallow over here. There we go. That was good. Bring the flaps up. Butter. Oh, okay, so it does have the same characteristic that the 109 does. If you bring that throttle all the way back to idle, it sputters out on you. So we'll go ahead and hit that inertia starter switch one more time. Okay, we need to prime it one more time. Okay, it's ready at 1400. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty speechless, honestly. It's an amazing plane. And I think Flying Iron has raised the bar once again with full fidelity warbirds. It's a monster. It's amazing. I'm definitely going to be coming out with another video on it, and that'll be obviously a full flight somewhere in the Alps, testing out all of its capabilities. Einfach wunderbar. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and yeah, if you got any value out of this video, please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.